Okay, here we are, Matthew Russell Lee, Inner City Press, here, Southern District of New York Courthouse, today, Wednesday, November 6th, 2024. Now, inevitably, we have to address last night's results, but we're going to do it from a legal perspective. First off, there's supposed to be a sentencing of Donald Trump right down the street here. I'm filming this on Pearl Street, right around the corner on Center Street, 100 Center Street. Donald Trump is due on November 26th to be sentenced for his conviction in the New York State criminal trial, which we covered. We actually wrote, I think, 6 booklets about it, and we're going to have a 7th, which will be the sentencing, if it occurs, because some are saying it might not occur. I think it probably will occur. Anyway, I don't know what's going to happen, as it also became clear last night. Now, the 2 federal cases, it would seem that they're going to die. I can't see them coming. They certainly can't come to trial before January 20th, or whatever day it is this year. And so there's that. Georgia, Trump won Georgia. That doesn't impact Fannie Willis, so we'll just have to see. But I'm sure there's brighter minds than mine. I'm mostly focused on the November 26th. It's going to be amazing. In somewhat related news, Rudy Giuliani is due here in the Southern District of New York in person on Thursday. On Monday, Judge Lyman said he's got to come because he didn't turn over things from the 2020 Georgia defamation judgment, and that supposedly he moved everything out of the apartment, and he was photographed voting in Florida, I believe, in the Mercedes that he was supposed to turn over. So the judge ordered him to come. His lawyer, Mr. Caruso, said no, he can't come. He has to do a radio, or maybe it's a podcast. I don't know. And all of his machinery is in Palm Beach. The plaintiff's lawyer, I think it's Wilkie Farr, going pro bono maybe. They said no. He said he can do it from anywhere because he was trying to say where he didn't live. Anyway, long story short, he's due Thursday at noon. If he doesn't come, I've seen Judge Lyman, issue warrants. There was a guy in a crypto case who didn't come, and a warrant was put out for contempt of court. So there's that. More political news. Yesterday we're covering this weird case of Devin Nunes versus Rachel Maddow, or really Devin Nunes versus NBC Universal. But he won a ruling from Magistrate Judge Netburn that Maddow now has to turn over or have a search of her personal devices. Initially, she was saying there's nothing related to the case on them. It was shown in the deposition that there is. The deposition, we put up some of the deposition. It's still redacted. She calls Devin Nunes a nerd and says she has empathy for him. It could be a harbinger for the kind of reconciliation that maybe should be occurring. Of course, Eric Adams yesterday voted, and I think he said on his way in he was voting for Kamala Harris, which shouldn't be a surprise, but it does undermine the theory that he was gunning for a pardon or for the dropping of the case. The case still might be dropped. He doubled down, or the government doubled down on him yesterday, Election Day, saying that the Snyder decision, as elucidated here in the Southern District by Starks, which is a NYCHA one, Mr. Starks tried to cite the Snyder decision to get the bribery indictment dismissed. It didn't work. He's pled guilty to a guideline of 18 to 24 months. Eric Adams' lawyer, Mr. Spiro, says it helps him. The government says no dice. On the Diddy docket, Diddy is doubling down. There's the truck coming through. Diddy is doubling down in search of a gag order. He said it's absolutely imperative that it be immediate. Judge Subramanian let him put in some more stuff, and I think the ruling is coming soon. On the civil cases, he's allowed to go. The plaintiff's allowed to go forward by pseudonym Jane Doe, but has to brief it further in 7 days after service, or after the defendants appear. And in the case that Judge Viscoso dismissed, saying that they hadn't met the standard for pseudonymity, they've asked for reconsideration. Now, full circle, the one thing about yesterday's result that I'm finding also interesting is as it relates to the UN. The UN is in Antonio Guterres has not just rolled the dice. He's a man without principles. He's a man who's banned the press, but he's gotten away with it because he sort of plays it off and everyone wants to get along good. Whether that will change, there's a different posture between the UN and a major U.S. ally now in 2024 than there was in 2016, and I am sure they're meeting about how this will react, and all I can say is the problems with the UN run extremely deep. We're running a series about corruption at all levels. These are the UN's own African employees saying they've been mistreated, that the organization is discriminatory. It's incredible. It's an incredibly badly run organization. Antonio Guterres is an absolute travesty of an international leader, and we'll see what's going to happen. But in any event, we're going in for the cases, SDNY and New York State, including a trial that we've been covering over there. Anyway, this is too long. To be continued.